Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Al-Farghani series on the Lord Mass channel. Yeah, it's been a while since I last posted a video of this kind because I took a little bit of a break. That's why you didn't see that there was an episode on a Friday nor on a Monday, because it was a birthday that I had. So yeah, I recently turned 30 years old just 2 days ago, knowing this video would be out on Wednesday. So I'm 30 years old now, and thank you everybody that I know of from around the world for wishing me a happy birthday and such. Any few belated birthdays is also welcome. But anyways, let's get down to this here. There's actually one little thing, and that's related to Crusader Kings 3 itself. This ongoing series here, no, this will not feature the updated version of Crusader Kings 3. Neither is the newly released Friends and Foes Event Pack DLC. No, that will not happen in this series because of two reasons. One, it's still the old version that I am playing on, and it will remain so until the very end of this series. And two, as I said, as we're in the 1100s, it's kind of too late for me to, to try to update this game. And a couple other things, and it's also due to the fear of those mods that I would be using for this series would not be up to date. So this will remain the old version castle. That's, or what the hell was that last update called before this current one? Still, this is still the old version as it was at the beginning of this series. Even at the old Tarkarian series that I did back then. So probably at some point in the future, don't know when I will start the next Crusader Kings 3 series. Don't know when I'll do that. I don't know where I'm going to play it as. But one thing I do know is I still got a couple of more episodes left in me for this series before I put this to bed. So let's get down to some business, rich folk business, because we still make a very good income despite the domain limit, which I'll have to handle that in the future, which my main focus is get all the way to writing his. I'd like to commission some epics, just do anything, and this is quite possibly my last major goal for this series. And that is, as we are still in the middle of the High Medieval era, and we'll get windmills soon, so it's finally something to spend my money on for all the places I hold in my domain, is to get that dynasty legacy, although I can't select that right now, is to get it all the way. I mean, I did it for the Trans-Saharan here, and now we're going to do all the way for maritime trade. Once we get those two done, then I accomplished my final goal of this series, and that is to be, quite possibly the most famous trade empire in the world. And my only focus on the short term is to continue to spread and expand our influence of our dynasty to be ruling in other places. Let me send you a gift. I want you to create that kingdom title for yourself. Giving you 1,000. Plus, it's for you to, support yourself with some mercenaries should you ever get yourself into a defensive war of any kind. So there you go. You got my financial support. Now go create that kingdom title. Because remember, it's only 500 gold, let's see. And I gave him all this money. All it needs is one duchy title, and it has. And plus, it'll help with the increase of the renown gain due to, as I said, I'm the emperor. There's one king out there in Gujarat, 4 dukes, 1 baron. Every little bit helps. While we're also trying to establish here who is currently losing a... Oh no, that's a claimant war. That's bad. That means he could get I can invite him to court. I just noticed that. You know what? Come here. If we can't kill him where he's currently located, we'll kill him here. Even though it appears to be holding on. Okay, anything else? Because in the short term, we're focused on getting all of Sardinia and Corsica, and then we'll grant it independence. And where do we expand next? I don't know. Probably go interfere in Indian affairs again. Possibly to Maharashtra. Just spreading my dynasty, spreading my kin around. All that and more. Again, 18 years old, prime of my life. But anyways, so let's get to work. Good timing. All I want is more children for myself. Okay. Remember, even if we do imprison him for the crimes that he did do, fornicator, okay. Even though he's an evil infidel. Oh, I know. We should imprison him, and then execute him, and then revolt over. Okay, you got it. Don't worry, we're gonna save your land. He's been apprehended and awaits his fate safely locked in my dungeons. He shall be executed because he is a Catholic, therefore evil to us. Fair game. Executed on my orders. And now it's just a tyranny war, no longer a claimant war. So in a tyranny war, should he lose, then that means he abdicates and it goes to him. Do we have a treaty with Italia? Okay, in 5 years' time, get this piece of Sardinia, and that accomplishes here. Disillusioned faction. Well, it's time to open up my purses, especially to the faction leader who has the most of the military power contribution. Been saving that for this occasion. Over the domain limit is the problem. Understandable. Try it as I might. Maybe, perhaps, we should go for thoughtful first before working on all this. You only got a year. Hey, how'd you like to spar with me? I mean, for chivalry and all that. So, for a few brief moments, I'm the XG and I pace in lazy half circles, each watch for an opening. I brandish my extra Gurak's dagger, ready to defend myself, while he clutches his Barani sword firmly to hand. This fight may be only till first blood, but that doesn't ease my nerves. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. You see, when I pull back from my every blow, letting me attack without getting another solid hit in. It's not long before I feel myself begin to tire. Taste silver, spawn of hell! So I hurl a heavy purse at his face. Even though he had a low increase like looks like, well, mine increased well, no risk of my injury. I get a tiny bit of stress because I'm being honest here. Also, I just noticed that armor that I'm wearing. Because that doesn't look, you know... what are you talking about? So anyways, snatching a heavy purse from my monies from my waist, I lob it at him, and it hits him right in the face, giving me a brief opening for a quick slash of my dagger. He encounters of a fierce hail of quick slashes, almost running me through repeatedly. My form is good, with only small errors. His stance is incredible. My opponent's guard is fierce, and I feel far from victory. Is that the best you got? You can't even hit me. Time and again, I backpedal, dodge, and weave, always keeping just a tempting target distance. Soon he's showing signs of exhaustion. He surges forward, forcing me back with a quick slash before bringing a high kick up to my chest. I almost topple. Form is excellent. There's a little chance of mistake. His stance is incredible. I've yet to open up my opponent's card at all. I see no one yet to claim victory. So that's what he did. It was very high chance of that happening. Screw it. Strike, parry, busta, throw a flurry of rapid attacks and counters. I leap into action, launching a flurry of quick slashes, driving myself out against his guard. Wearing him down with each expertly timed strike. With surprising speed, he unleashes a powerful cleave of his sword, nearly knocking my dagger loose. My form is excellent, with little chance of mistake. His stance is formidable. I've yet to open up this guard at all. God dang it. Feels like it's an even match. Even though I gained quite a bit of a dual handicap. Didn't look up what he was actually like before you decided to spar him. Even though I'm not a warrior, Vağpūryā of any kind. Two can play that game. You try to disarm me, then I'll try to disarm you. A powerful blow, you'll try to remove his weapon. Let's see how you do about your sword. Spotting a perfect opportunity to disarm my opponent, I bring my dagger down in a powerful cleave that wrenches his sword from his grasp. That went surprisingly smoothly, all things told. He and I left staring awkwardly at each other, unsure whether to bolt after the weapon or surrender. Me unprepared for such a powerful, perfect execution. Speaking of, I put paid any thought he may have continued to fight with a raised eyebrow and a brandish of my dagger. The yield is embarrassed but speedy. So I won the sudden death round. My armor and the dagger took quite a hit. Again, me being a mustachioed man. So, good fight. Here's your money, even though I already threw some at you. The last thing I would want is a disillusioned faction of any kind. Because I don't want my country to be destroyed by these tiny little entities. I put my weapon down and turned to the Emir, giving him a customary round of applause. He does the same. Well fought, my Vağpūryā. You bested me fair and square, he says. This practice will surely serve us well should there be war in the future of Al-Farghani. This is invigorating. I feel fit and ready. A good bout. Delusions of superiority is what I've been saying. Yeah. Well, he got a sprained ankle. A good bout there was. Uh-huh. I'll be there for your feast, if it's meant to keep tensions down. While on my way to Manjada's feast, I meet another traveler heading the same way. Samurai and I get to talking, laughing, enjoying each other's company. Unfortunately, tomorrow we will reach Tirwa, where she must go our separate ways. An Andalusian woman who is beautiful. Nice. If I'm in a desperate need of children, I would like to have her as my second wife. I'll say we must not part. She said yes. Bingo, here's your second wife. Oh, Vağpūryā, my beloved, to think that I can embrace you openly now. With the blessing of Allah and the people around us, I am the happiest man alive. Come here, wife of mine. We're gonna have beautiful children. While on my way to this feast, I sleep at a tavern for the night. The next morning, I wake up to bed bug bites all over me. This itching is gonna drive me insane. That doubles it. Alright, welcome to the feast. I look forward to it, even though I've traveled all the way to this part of Tunisia. Feast is dwindling down. I still have a conversation with my determined acquaintance. He inquires about my opinion on trade routes, the subject David interested in himself. It's a subject that fascinates me as well. Perhaps I should launch a feast of my own. As one plate of food is placed by the next, my vassal, Yugana, goes on and on about the rumors at court. And that's how we saw Gemmas. You sure I'm not boring you, my lord? Why don't we talk more about you instead? Friendships is what I needed. Farewell, my vassal. Yeah, we're gonna have to hold a feast right here, right now. Gotcha. Maybe we can try to get some of the vassals in to come in and just to reduce tensions. The great table seating the upper nobility on the dice gave a loud crack. A moment later, it gave in under the weight of the food and good decoration. As the most distinguished guest had to be fitted among the lower nobility, I ended up close to my wife, Samra, and Itri took it poorly. However, I told everyone it was a grave injustice to be seen with the lords and ladies barely better than commoners, acting quite the opposite. Mir displayed grace and humility among his lessers. She and I ended up talking all evening and agreed it should not be the last time we faced him live with Judge coming. Oh wow. Friend and lover. Gotta bring it too because we laid each other the other day. Known for my dedication to faith. Maybe some little respect around here. Maybe, perhaps we should start giving court positions to those, who deserves. Whoa there. What in God's... Do not fret. Just you got a bunch of angry nobles, that's all. As my guest sleep, they seem to depart of good spirits. Most are relieved to see that Vağpūryā does not depart without saying farewell. We both know we'll be seeing each other again. What a woman. Oh, I got an idea. And you should have been doing that earlier because you are a deluded, complete imbecile. Let's create the title. Hey, you malcontents. I was about to give it to you, but he's about to die in the morning. That's 16. A freaking kid. Aren't you the, one of those faction leaders? A faction member, I should say. Yeah. I got something for you. The whole damn region. That'll solve everything for the time being. Yeah, that will solve it. 2-week to send an ultimatum. There you go. You averted a crisis. I know what it says. I knew it. Oh, you're that Silk Road entertainer. Hey, since you were an entertainer, how about I make you my court jester? Since you know how to do all of this. There's been a smuggling ring operating in Philium for some time. Our officials were unable to find any useful information on that would lead these criminals' arrests. Recently, however, my officials managed to capture one of the smugglers, who turned out to be an extreme coward. Even a casual mention of torture was enough to turn this man to a quivering mess. And he told the authorities everything. The members of the smuggling ring have been all but caught, just sold out. All in all, it was a great success. The man's cowardice was our key to victory. Now let's hold court. Budjman, who's clearly been working himself out to some degree soon. A bunch of the dogs have think they're better than us. So he's cracking their hot jokes to each one. Anjawan Ahmed, the loathsome knave, needs to be put in his place. And those foreign fools made to respect the spirit camp. In this society, you settle this in a duel. You wins the duel. My vassal Emir Kusir takes a turn bending my ear before the sum of gold. Glorious Liege, give me the honor of organizing the royal hunts and protecting the game. I will not let you down. I suppose these jobs could have been done by somebody. Yeah, you get it. Because I didn't finish putting all the positions, but I've been confident. Raz Mubarak comes forward, proceeding with marked caution. Your Grace, my Madina of Kansinia grows rich by burgers dealings with trading ships which ply to havens along Al-Farghani's coast. We have made our town and you prosperous, and deserve greater influence over Socotra. Imagine that, Socotra, a republic, even though I'm the owner of it, and I don't want that. Let me see. Oh, I know. You ask too much. There must be some other way. A mercantile charter in Socotra. You know, that kind of hurts the income there. Hey! Have you created that yet? Or what the hell did you just spend it on? Create that title, damn it! Huh. Just turn it to an Ikshidiyas. What are you waiting on? There. No more disillusioned faction. All you must do now is wait for Italia in 4 years, so that'll be 1117. Exposed. Son and heir. You know who? Unless I'm gonna be one of those people. Oh, no need for that. Not right now. Windmills. Go to all of the places of your domain that has the Egypto-Sogdian culture. Building disable over the domain limit. God blast it. wonder why it went to... Look at that! And this is what I get for being of that. But do not fret. We can handle the internal problems by getting more prestige, and then we get to write epics and then don't have to be august. Maybe. God blast it, it's still a big maybe for me. And then we'll get to the main focus and go to architect. It's per usual. No, leave me alone. Yeah, windmills is what we got. Card exposures, going to get trebuchets in 16 years' time. I think should go for Castle Baileys. Because I like to spend my money on military buildings. As our income is not as great as it once was. Just go to any part of the domain that you hold that is not affected. That beautiful daughter of mine, Roxana. That usually happens, but I may resort to that if I'm going to be desperate for cash by the end of this. I may resort to that. Who gives you the right? Do I even use that? Yes, I do. You're not gonna get it. Shut your... Oh, crap. Makes a little difference. Hey. What's going on out there? Liberty War. Now, why is Zarathustra part of that? But it is of our dynasty, so we don't really care. Because that's another duke, ain't it? We hadn't thought about this, but I think we can handle it. I think she just mainly focused on swaying. Why didn't you think of that? I usually use personal schemes to seduce and romance. Okay, which one of you powerful vassals that is? Well, there's you. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. That we could try to get along. Glory is widely known. A little more of the secular opinion and it's all good. Yes. We fought. Come on in. Every little bit is good. I don't know what you've been spending my money on, but I'm giving you more financial aid. Because I want you to create that Ikshidiyas title. If you don't, I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to come over there, retake the land, and then create the title, and then give it to you. Don't think I will. That I won't, I should say. Trust me, my response will be swift if you don't do what I tell you. If you are spitting on structures, good. Now our dynasty is glorious. No factions, so everything is safe now. Just looking things up at the moment. I was just laughing at some stupid joke somebody made. Not gonna reference it here, because you people wouldn't get it. I ain't gonna free you. You're a bad guy. It's come to my attention as the local commoners over to Alaska, the capital of my Grand Alama. Locals nearly settled on praising me, surely do no harm is perception to me. Take this gold and make sure you're hurt. Money solves all of our problems. Why do I get the impression that, expansive as the realm is, and we became a trade empire, I mean, it's almost like, I don't know, if you were to think about if you've seen a country like that in a game like EU4, that it's like, yep, forerunner of what makes it a great one, even though it's not a merchant republic of any kind. No, it's a, well, it's an empire. I was about to say sultanate, but that's not correct. We're just simply, living up to an old tradition that's, back in the olden days in the old Silk Road. From Sardinia through the Taran Basin. Another sun. Who is a beautiful one. But sometimes I wish that I would have smart ones. I mean, looks is one thing, but the vastage. Looks is just one thing. It's just I care more about intelligence and strength than anything else. Have I ever sent you a gift before? No, I didn't. Okay. Just make sure it's on our side. Son of a beeswax. Adultery is no good to nobody. They don't ask you for any artifacts that you have no right to be getting it from. That's how Croatia is spelled in the Greek language? Fascinating. No income. What, you got no control over there or what? They're trying. Weapons banned in cities, forest of corpses. Yeah, that's quite a realm you made there, brother. What an island to be in, huh? Now you made it a hell island. It's like, yes, welcome to, imagine that, if some tourist were to visit there. Like, welcome to Mallorca, where weapons are banned in cities, and then there's impaled corpses all over the island. That's the reason why they call him the Impaler. And it's also little control, so outlaws are around the area. And even though the impalement was just one of its methods. It is a regional stronghold as it survived the Iberian struggle. Locals are pacified, but it has an incompetent tax collection. I gave him that realm. Wants to forge something wondrous. We shall see about that. One second. A regal crown, worthy to rest upon my head. As much as I like this one, but maybe something better, I hope. Speed it up a bit. Since we got everything stable, the realm is stable, little money's to be made, renown to be gained. In the western deserts of Egypt, water wells are a rare and precious commodity. A well-to-do local notable wishes to sell one of the wells he owns in the region and is offering a decent price for it. $30 gold or 20 gold. For that price, I think you could do better. Well, there you go. I bought myself a well. Oh, hell. Income's starting to go up again. Ruling a multicultural Al-Farghani Vağpūryā comes with its own set of challenges. Foreign subjects often feel alienated where they cannot speak their own native tongue, breeding resentment. My steward, Samet Bartholomew, suggests that I could significantly improve relations with my Nubian Bedouin subjects by learning to speak the language on my own. My court tutor can certainly help me. My lord, look at that metal. I've never seen such fine quality before. My beneficiary Mukhtar breaks away from my market for such that costs too much selling to cover a static overtime. With this, my project will reach new heights. I could create something truly marvelous. Please, my Vağpūryā, bestow this gift upon me. But regardless, it's gonna be of a higher quality. 1 second. One second. Actually, there is no 1 second. You gotta make a choice now. Never mind. Sure, we could get it first. 48, 51. 48% chance to invest in 50 where he's convinced to lower the prices, or 51% that the merchant's not convinced and I still have to pay the full price. He's convinced! Alright. Such a cheapskate. I'm just chuckling at the fact for what I did here. After many long weeks of study, I found a solid grasp of fundamentals of the Nubian visual language. I've continued practice, my fluency will improve, but even the basic understandings improve my relations with the Nubian visual subjects. Time well spent. Name it after me. Oh, you got it. Sorry, you lose that name privileges here. Oh, god dang it, where is it? Ah, there it is. Give our mother bought the name. Muhammad. Simple. Yes. Done and done. Of course, that means you're gonna have to start disinheriting your sons if you know you're gonna have many children. Monthly prestige per powerful vessel. Take a drink, will you? Repent today. Learn the truest truth. Step in the light. Since Mukhtar joined my court. Yeah, he's the one that's making a crown for me. His persistent attempts to convert everyone in his foreign cults become a background noise to my everyday life. Day and night he stalks the courtyards, patrols the hallways, and hides in wait for unsuspecting bypassers in the dark corners, ready to persuade them with his insistent screeching. My courtiers are exhausted, and if the Mukhtar ambushes me on my way to Champot, I'm inclined to agree to discontent. Unfortunately, we can tolerate this and more. He's harmless. He's making a crown for me. So get a wake hook on him. Everybody will be annoyed by this. Oh! He got in prison. And he lost that little war for the peace of Capua. Over here, my lord, my beneficiary, Mukhtar Waismo. I've toiled many days and nights. Finally, my work is done. He presents me with an object wrapped in cloth as I lift the fabric and my eyes grow wide. An extravagant crown of masterful craftsmanship. The crown is forged from gold and adorned with intricate filigree that frames a large sapphire centerpiece. Excellent. This is lovely. It helps the domain tax. Bit more prestige. Building construction costs reduced. You got it. Bossy, huh? Only sending it at random. Can't just pick and choose rulers these days of who wants my entertainers. Do not forget, we're still developing Marrakesh. Ah, yes. I forgot. And remember, ever since your cultural tradition, oh, it's back up now because, you know, the domain limit. Which we'll get it back more. We gotta upgrade every single one of these that has the Egypto-Sogdian culture on them. Especially with the castle rulers, castle keepers tradition. We are moving up. Except for this one. Not that one. Forget I own Silla as well. That's still the old culture. No need to upgrade those. Still the old culture. Just noticed that. 13 years! Al-Farghani. Okay. That's just internal affairs to where our dynasty is involved. Dynastic matters. Get used to it. Way to go, dummy. Just 11 months. Wait a minute. Is that Rome independent? What the hell? Something tells me we gotta invade that place. Yeah, once we invade those islands, I'm gonna offer you vassalage, and I'm gonna right this wrong. Yeah, distance between us. Yep, we are coming over there to right this wrong. Have you heard about the one about for the Scalda, my lord? It goes like this. My gesture tells me simply. My face is flushed with tears of laughter running down from my cheeks. Where does he get all the jokes from? He's hilarious. Well, perhaps it's time to get back to work, lest I die from laughter. It's been fun. It's time to go back to work. Now, what do you say? This Rome is distant from mine, I can tell. But I have the islands. We're neighbors at this point. Don't worry about that. If you don't do what I tell you, son, and get back over here, then we got ourselves a problem. Because if you don't do what I tell you, I'm going to invade your county, gonna conquer you, and then I will put you back in, and you will be the exit. You got that? I'm glad you found a woman in your life, but still, that's the one thing I would not abide. this wouldn't work either. Let's go again. Huh. Outlived my rival. Honor's shallow grave. I've come to discover the most feeling true about Bartholomeus. Though I'd love bringing this matter to your attention, but I must warn you, this man is keeping secrets of the most alarming kind from you. Oh, why do you hate me so? Incompetence. Your concerns deeply appreciated. Non-believer, eh? It's words like this, or apostasy can only go so far. Wow. I'm imprisoning the Grand Alama for this. Well, who takes over? Saklushan, a eunuch. I think we could find someone better. Al-Farghani is blessed to be the home of many dozen Quranic schools, besides serving as centers of religious learning. Our Quranic schools also serve as main hubs of learning and scholarship within the kingdom. These centers of learning overflow with some of the land's greatest minds, with multilingual scribes and philosophers among them. A pious and wise ruler would do well to be guided by Allah's selection amongst them to serve as most loyal and wise counsel. Two such candidates from a top Quranic school have presented my request, and after considering their talents, it's time for me to render my decision. Alright, which one of you is the good one? Rakanak. For what? Really? You say he's a wise man? He is the opposite of wise. Okay, now what about him? Theologian. But you're a sinner. All virtues matter. So honestly, honoring my patronage to their Quranic school would serve a greater good. So I will spend my money on it, and there's a 33% chance of either of these choices. Either of these outcomes, I should say. Patron of learning, flourishing, or failed patron. Where's all my money gone? Well, I'll tell you where's all that money gone. My efforts to improve my relationship with the local Middle Eastern community are bearing fruit. By listening to their concerns, working together to improve local conditions, they have in return helped me to find ways to bring resources from near and far for infrastructure projects, and their leaders are often ready to support me to quell any sign of discontent from the brother. Together we make this land better, stronger, and more prosperous. Where's all the money gone? Who dares? Sorry about this. Come here. I'm here to right the wrong. Don't worry about raids. Okay. Oh, just release her. And make sure she's a motorboat too. You'll have your woman back. I'm here to give you all of these lands again, but this time for the Ikshidiyas. Sorry we had to go over there and beat up your men and made your island a lawless territory. And we're gonna grant you your independence. That's it. Okay? We've righted a wrong here. Ah, yes. Italia. We gotta get a piece of Sardinia. Oh, yes, I remember you. We'll declare war in the spring. Oh, even better. Actually, there is an ongoing claimant war. But still get a piece of that. It's been going on for 3 years. They do hold the objective. I'll give you financial support immediately. I guess we don't have to fight against Italia for it. They're already doing that for us. Here. This is all you need. Company of the Hat. Yep, he got mercenaries. Check again. Who are these people? Oh, they're not involved. Are they? No, this is a Sardinian issue. It was due to a raid. You might be a vouch for, but you're also an important knave. The unprovoked anger expressed by vassal Abdul Salam comes as a complete surprise. He's been under a lot of stress lately, but to behave like this, that he even struggles, it's gone. Yeah. Lyle's very existence is an insult to the name of our glorious dynasty. My cousin is such a doddering imbecile, blundering about making a fool of Al-Farghani with every word she puts out. This is family. I must cast her out. I have the power to disinherit families. So I will have a 50 lifestyle experience gain. She gets disinherited. I gain. The dynasty gains 75 renown. This. Cast her out. And we got it. Hold on there. Yeah. So here's the next one for the maritime trade. Distant shores. And this is a big one. This is for each level of fame ups your diplomacy skill a bit, thus further increasing the stability of the realm here as its ruler. And the diplomatic range is plus 15, which means places like Northern Europe and the rest of the Indian subcontinent, we have much more further range and more contacts in there. But also, character modifiers and decision to reinforce related Silk Road communities last twice as long, just like caravan networks of the Silk Road for those that remembered my Takarian series. when we were largely focused on that. So this is the one to take. And next time, Palazzo Grazie. So this is just something to remember. This helps the development growth of the realm capital even more, while city buildings construction costs is reduction -15, and unlocks the final building in the Indian Ocean Pirate Den chain. Pirate Den building chain. Which, if I remember correctly, doesn't that add a little more renown to that? Yes, it does. What the hell's going on with that realm over there? So does that mean we have contact with areas like there? Nope, still too far away. Tamilakam? Yes, we do have contact over there. Lanka? Yes. But not places like over there. So, half of Hindustan, basically. And due to our range there, we do have contact with the Yogos. Yes, up there as well. Kipchak? No. Kipchak? Too far. And definitely not Mongolia. Do have contact with Vijaya. Not Zaya. Now how about Northern Europe? Germany, or whatever that's called, from Franconian language here. Frisia, yes. England, yes. Parts of Denmark, so yes. Do have that. No, way too far. Sumi, too far. Lithuania, yes. Oh no, to be fair, it's due to Sardinia and Corsica. That's why we have so far range. That's due to that more than anything else. So all I can say is, hey, hurry up and finish your war. Get that last piece of Sardinia, and then I'll be willing to release it as an independent nation. Don't want to take part in any feasts at the moment. But willing to do anything to get the level of fame up. Like you should go hunting. The first time it happened, I barely gave it a moment's thought. But my vassal, Azata Jeremut, has grown bolder. His challenge is no longer passed unnoticed among the vassals. He's testing my limits. The others sure to fall unless I give him a taste of his own medicine. He's a religious paragon. I'll say mocking his sister and whining will shut him up. My constant snide comments about his sister and whining seems to got them. Since the others begin to follow my example, he's grown more and more hesitant and remains quiet on his castle. Cruel, perhaps, that's to be done. Concentric castles are being constructed now. Development is 45 now. Another. Lots of irritable people as of late. Fuck, hold on. Oh, you got it. Excellent. Now let me present you with some financial aid for yourself to help improve the realm and defend your country from Italia. give you 1,500. A little more than that. So there, they can never touch you again while they deal with whatever's going on over there in that part of Croatia. Or whatever that you pronounce it as in Greek language. So now we grant you your independence, further increasing the renown gain. Yes. Mallorca, Sardinia, and Gujarat. Even though that realm's been going to hell as of late. One wants the artifact, and others those Sindhis, which they have their own ambitions. That's what I'm thinking, Maharashtra. Although that place is mainly inhabited by a mix of Buddhists and Jains there. A peaceable place. We should invade there one day. So I'll do whatever it takes to get more prestige for the time being. Holy Order Champions of Islam. It's because we got so many holy orders that it's kind of hard to keep count. You would think a creature from myth, perhaps a god disguised animal form. It was the largest stag I've ever seen. Even after the beast was wounded, the chase lasted half a day. It's still an imposing sight, lying dead before me. This will fetch a fine price. I'll get some of the money out of that. Let us host an exotic feast. Oh hell. I barely managed to sit down at my seat when I hear a howl emanating from Omanid Downhill. It would seem that he and Wali Muzaffaradin have really gotten to it, as Tano is receiving a proper manner of handling from. Too late, I realized the marsh dance paved its way straight through the Egyptian statue. I motioned for my guards to separate the two, hissing and clawing each other. Deals presented for me, all the throwing the blame of one another for starting a fight. As these things happen, it wasn't my favorite piece. I'll say that for once. Feast is dwindling down. I find myself deep in conversation with my faithful vassal Nanai Khan. He inquires about my opinion on the blessings of marriage. I saw he's deeply interested in himself. Do you know? Now he's my friend. I just need more friends in life. Is that too much to ask? In-depth guest? What the hell? I don't think I've ever seen that option before. Is that what we do to guests? It's not a cultural thing. Gets a weak hook threatened, that's what this says. In-depth to guest. Again, never done this before. Sensible recalls. Barbarian looks positively terrified as servant after servant is brought out to accuse her. Each assistant she's given away almost all the larder to homeless beggars. Allegedly. Costing me a small personal fortune. The woman has barely started stammering about her innocence and conspiracy when I hold up a hand. Clearly you have transgressed, Barbarian. I could overlook your misdoings if you were willing to make a small promise to me. She was a wild oat. threatened her. Or maybe we're just taking advantage of her personality. Doesn't matter. I'll just say naturally, you will stay where I can keep an eye on you. That's a jackass thing to do. That's always a thing. It's just I never noticed that till now. You could do that to any guest here. Oh, thank you very much, friend. Anyways. Yeah. Herbalists and physicians from Hormuz have become famous in recent times for the quality of herbal medicines made from using various plants, herbs, and minerals and so on that are uniquely native to Hormuz. 6 years, 12 years. We should invest to support this important work. Okay, let me give you some financial aid, as I typically do. That's what we've become in this country as of late. Willing to give financial aid to those who weren't fortunate enough. I am not willing to send my forces over there over something stupid, like those artifact wars. Are you willing to forgive for your transgressions? Let me give you some silk runner in terms of show of forgiveness. Here. Anything for renown. An administrator, huh? Wants to forge regalia? You got it. Sure. Anything to help you out. Probably ask the same. Probably not. My beneficiary, Mallorca, approached me from burnt eyebrows and whatnot. My lord, I mean no disrespect. This forge of yours, let's just say if you want the regalia to be all elegant, you're gonna have to invest in a new one. Yeah, of course. Whatever you need. Just curious, because I was wondering, why does that border look like it's getting closer to Rome? Oh, you are very giving. You are a generous man. I accept your gift. How nice of he. There's no need for dedication. Do anything to get up to exalted among men. And I know how. I got all this money, so fetch the masons. Several likely redecorating candidates present themselves. Those nearest and most noteworthy. The realms of Caliph Muzin, Vasilis Lazaros, and Malik al-Muzam Adid. selecting a style that is considered more renowned than any of my own court would perceive humbling, lend me some of the foreign realms there of grandeur. Conversely, emulating a lesser one would show magnanimity and build my legend abroad to cause some reputation at home. I would, let's see. Oh, I'll be gaining this, not spend. Perhaps a rough, I'd say a feast hall would be a novelty. That reminds me. Almost there. Think. I had something else on my mind, but I lost it. Ah, damn it. I'm not gonna remember this. Besides spending money on children. The one named Gurak. Already showing those inclinations. I know it's kind of early, but I want to do that. Any newer buildings at this point is going to help the development grow. Your courtier Mallorca. She just won't stop eating marzipan. Al-Farghani Vağpūryā. Right at this moment, I spot Mallorca exiting the pantry, carrying a pile of marzipan in both arms. There's something the matter, my liege? Lowering her eyes. That's the second time that somebody who is inspired is doing something silly in the court. I'll just say, oh, you better pay for that. That's quite a hybrid. Okay, this is for this. Alright, got what I wanted. I'm actually gonna cut this episode short because I want the next episode to be about it's like, let's go invade another kingdom. And they call me the Trustworthy because I'm a very diplomatic man. And you can always trust me, even though I threatened this one guest. While visiting a local nobleman, he shows us one of his prized possessions. A painting he acquired some time ago that depicts a beautiful woman. Now paintings are about people who are nothing out of the ordinary. But this painting in particular is famous because the artist managed to do an extremely realistic depiction of a person. So real that it almost feels like that if the painting looks if it is a real, living, breathing lady who would, at any moment, will jump out of the frame and interact with us. Oh, I'm thinking what I could be doing with such a beauty. This character's feeling much more stimulated than usual. Are lovers be able to handle them? Yeah. Alright, look at me. I'm a handsome man. Who couldn't resist? So I think the idea of the invasion of Arasha would be likely. It's to continue with the connections of the neighboring realms, that is, of our dynasty. fine. Distracted by the affairs of court, I let news from my medals of Mallorca to be delayed more and more. Now work has completely stalled on my regalia. It seems not entirely to blame. I'm told of her endless appetite at the expenditure my funding on cakes and sweets from her markets. At last, I demand she's brought before me. I mean, look at this woman. She's a comfort eater. She's gluttonous. Heck, she's not even hiding it. Based on the way she's dressed, she just pretty much tells you that. Oh, well, will you stop fat shaming? Shut your mouth, will you? You gotta be a trustworthy man, alright? I know you're doing your best, Monica. I'll just be patient with you. I'm a forgiving man. I'm a fair man. You have to be a man of diplomacy. You got to. Yes, some progress was lost, but I'm a patient man. Am I? No, but temperate, humble, and honest. This is ridiculous, he protests. As the keeper of the Vağpūryā personal collection, I have responsibility to ensure the quality of it. You will see once it's finished, she retorts. You should leave a woman to her work. She's forging regalia fit for royalty. Hey, stick to your own duties, will you? I'd rather be the one to hold feasts, not you people. True ruler. Now, in 2 years' time, we'll be writing epics. And lots of them. Household savings. An opening regalia sent on an excellent craft ship. It consists of a gold scepter set with pieces of sapphire, fine satin robes that have been embroidered with gold, and a large sapphire gold necklace. Compare and contrast. Masterwork, famed. Prestige is higher. It's fast tax contribution. Short reign duration. I don't know. I mean, it's for keeps. Thank you very much. This thing. So, I think that we will be ending that episode on that note, as I will keep that timeline a little going. So, in the next episode, we'll be getting castle bays for military buildings up to the era, and then trebuchets will be making their battlefield debut in a couple of years, though not for the Central Indian invasion, or that we plan on doing in the next episode, and as well as all other things that will also be coming up, such as all of this now, as we'll be stopping right here. So we hope you people have enjoyed this episode, even though it's been mainly stability and giving two kingdoms their independence, just to continue the spread of our dynasty in a much faster way. And in the next episode, there will be another Al-Farghani kinsman, or one of my children, is going to go to Maharashtra. That's going to be our next target for the invasion of that whole realm. Just that one in particular. Plus it has coast and it's next to Gujarat. All the more reasons. So that way they can all stick together and deal with any malefactors, be it other Sunnis or dealing with Hindus, Jains, Buddhists within the realm, and all that and more. So we'll see you in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.